Hello everybody, it's Kenny and Gabrielle from Oxmoor Auto Group. We're back down here at one of our favorite places, Dare to Care. We had such good feedback from our summer cooking series for the kids, we thought we'd extend it a little bit. So what we've done is we're partnering with like-minded institutions and organizations that have same values as Dare to Care and Oxmoor Auto Group. And we've got a new chef here today, don't we, Gabby?
We do, yeah. So we are here with Chef Thomas with the Omni Hotel and our dear friend Chef Teresa, which everybody knows. So we are going to let you guys do what you do best, which is cooking, and Kenny and myself are going to get out of the way.
So welcome back. Again, I'm Chef Teresa, the executive chef here at Dare to Care Community Kitchen. We are in our beautiful Parkland campus in the classroom, and I am joined today by Chef Thomas. He's stand of the Omni Resort and Hotels.
Hi,
Chef,
guys.
welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having us, man. We are all about what you guys do. We think you just partner so well with us when we talk about, putting hunger, saying goodnight to hunger is one of our key things. Since 2016, when we started our program, we would donate one meal per every check-in or stay.
That's incredible.
So to date, we've done over 18 million meals. And the great thing about it is it doesn't go to some anonymous food bank somewhere. We donate it right into our community, right into your hands.
That's fantastic. And certainly we are very appreciative of the donations of time and talent and resources that we get from all of our donors and from the Omni. We strive to be really good stewards of those resources, and we make the most of all of our donations.
Sure. I mean, we are at the Omni, this big, giant, beautiful hotel. It's majestic. But what I think sometimes people forget, we live here too, right? We're your neighbors. And when we see what everyone sees in a rural city environment, we go, wow, there's hungry people blocks away from this beautiful hotel. How can we help? And our Omni family is committed to putting into our community, just like you guys are. It was such a perfect match to find you.
It was fantastic that you were able to come and join us today in our kitchen space. So let's go ahead and get started.
Love it.
So we're going to start with our dessert today, just because it's going to go in the fridge, and then we can start working on the hot food, okay? So today's dessert, and I know you guys are going to be like, oh my gosh, what is Chef thinking? Because normally I'm advocating for healthy meals. I want to make sure all of our foods are as nutrient dense as possible, but it's dessert.
And, everything in moderation, including moderation. So, there's got to be reward at the end of the tunnel, too. So I'm all about healthy, anti-fast food, in the kitchen. And if I can translate that into anybody's hands and give them some knowledge on how to stay at home, eat healthy, eat clean, a little cheater at the end, incentive.
Right. So today we're going to do a riff off of classic Rice Krispie treats, only we're going to sub out the rice cereal for popcorn, because who doesn't like popcorn?
Oh, everybody loves popcorn. Why sub out the popcorn? Just curious.
So the popcorn has 1/4 of the calories of a Rice Krispie cereal. And additionally, it's got 3 grams of fiber per serving and 3 grams of protein per serving.
So you're sneaking in a little healthy on them, huh?
I got to do where I can.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
We're going to start off really simple instead of going through the whole, marshmallows and butter thing. We're just going to start off with some marshmallow fluff. I just think it makes it a lot simpler. Of course, if you've got a classic Rice Krispie treat recipe that you really love and that works for you, use that. I'm all about being flexible. For me, sometimes the fluff is just easier and it's a little bit faster. And then I like to stabilize it with a little bit of melted white chocolate, and that just kind of helps it all come together.
Sure. Give it that stiff quality once you refrigerate it.
Right, because we don't want them to be super soft where they fall apart.
Yeah, well, especially if you're doing this at home, because you're going to be cleaning.
That is absolutely true. I think that's one of the best parts about being a chef is that there's always lots of people to help with the dishes.
It is, and I often tell people in my personal life, I will trade you cooking for cleaning any day of the week.
And twice on Sundays.
So if you want to get a chef to come over to your house and cook for you, tell them you'll clean. We'll be right there.
We'll be there. So we're just going to bring this up to temperature. We just want it warmed through to make it really easy to blend up into our popcorn. We're going to learn how to fold today, because I know that there's some people who are like, how do you fold food?
Right, folding what? Folding egg whites? How do you fold an egg white? It's like a sheet? It's like a sheet of paper? Nope, it's just a little different.
All right, so this is nice and warm, and I'm just going to pull it off the heat just a little bit and add in about 1/2 cup of white chocolate chips. So yeah, so we're going to fold this in. We're just going to sweep it down through the middle and give it a flip. And that is nicely just about melted.
That looks delicious.
Let's so good. This makes a really great cupcake topping too.
Ooh, now you're talking my language. I often think the cupcake is just the vehicle for the frosting. People look at you oddly if you just eat frosting all by yourself. But put it on a cupcake, you're like, oh, he's eating a cupcake.
So here we go. Here is our marshmallow mixture, and we're just going to drop that up onto some air pop popcorn. Air pop popcorn is a wonderful treat. It's super inexpensive and really easy to make. Just a little bit of oil in the bottom of a pot. Drop in your popcorn and then just wait. And 3 minutes later, a nice batch of fresh hot popcorn. Smells amazing.
It does. I love that smell in the house. It's fantastic. Ooh, that's coming together really nice.
Oh yeah.
Once again, are you seeing that folding technique?
See that folding technique?
I like it. I love it.
There we go. So we're going to shape these into about 1 cup size balls and flatten them out and pop them on a stick because everything's better on a stick.
Everything's better on a stick. That's when you go to the Kentucky State Fair and everything's on a stick.
So this is a great job for little hands. Chef, would you do the honors and spray my hands for me?
You got it. That's something you don't hear every day, right?
And that's just to help us keep the Rice Krispie popcorn bowl mixture from sticking to our hands. It just makes it just a little bit cleaner.
Well, and you spend half the day trying to tell kids to stay clean, and then you go, we can get dirty now.
Exactly.
Right? The fun part.
Exactly. So I've got some lollipop sticks right there, and if you don't mind just pushing one of them right through the inside.
I like it.
And now look, we've got this beautiful little popcorn ball on a stick.
That's
We're going
awesome.
to chill these down, and then we get to decorate them however we want a little bit later after they've chilled and cooled.
Green, my favorite color.
All right. So we've put those popcorn balls into the refrigerator to chill. That way they get nice and firm around those sticks. So Chef, you've got our entree today. So what are we doing?
All right, so we're gonna have some fun. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sneak up on you and teach you something. So you got little ones in the house. They need a little bit of, guidance. My mom always said nobody eats for free, right? So got to get up and help. I want to give you a skill today that you can walk away with and know 1,000 recipes, right? So this is going to be some magic, so hold on tight. All you got to do is remember 1, 1, and 2. That's it.
1, 1, and 2.
And 2. So what we're going to talk about here is 1 part vinegar. It smells good. So that's a 1/4 cup. And then we're going to do a 1/4 cup of sugar. So those are equal parts. That's the 1 and 1. So in the bowl now you got 1 and 1.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is you're going to stir that until it becomes clear, right? So you can see right now it's kind of opaque. Sugar loves to dissolve in vinegar. It doesn't like to dissolve in fat, which is what we're going to add next. So you got to give it a little helping hand to dissolve before you go for the 2.
Okay.
So what we're doing is called an emulsification. Super fancy word for not a very fancy recipe. So we're gonna bond one thing in another, and it's gonna become magically thick. So when I was a kid, we had wishbone dressing in the refrigerator door, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, right. So you'd grab it, it's separate, and your mom would be like, shake that. And you'd shake it, and you'd like, wow, it's together. It's emulsification. My mom never knew it, neither did I until I became a chef. But that's what we're gonna learn.
Okay.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the oil, but we're gonna whisk it vigorously, but not necessarily to incorporate air, but to actually blend the ingredients.
Okay.
So 1, 1, and 2.
1, 1, and 2. So 1 part vinegar, 1 part sugar, and
2 parts
oil.
Yep. So now through the magic of that TV lens, you can see that it's now viscous. You took 2 items that were super thin and they've suspended within each other. So that's an emulsification. Super easy, right? So if you've got the skill to do that, I've got the skill to make 1,000 different recipes, right? So I'm gonna add blackberries into this. What does that make it?
Blackberry vinaigrette?
Blackberry vinaigrette. If I were to add tomatoes into it.
Ooh, tomato
vinaigrette, right? If I put a little bit of oregano in there, now I've got like an Italian vinaigrette.
Okay.
Right? So if you remember 1, 1, and 2, everything else is just your creativity. So whatever you can bring to the forefront on that, do it, right? Have fun, get crazy, get nutty. So you can macerate the blackberries a little bit. That's just a fancy word for smushing. So if you tell your kids, you're like, hey, go smush those. This is a great job for the little ones because all they got to sit there is wreck something. Kids love to wreck stuff, right? So you tell them, hey, just smash those blackberries really well.
I really love recipes that are mix and matchable, so this fits right in with my whole philosophy in life.
This is the black cocktail dress of dressings, right?
Yeah.
So you can wear it anywhere, you can do anything with it, throw anything on, a little bit of jewelry, whatever, and you've got a great, great vinaigrette.
Fantastic.
So we're gonna set that aside, and we're gonna kind of talk about the proteins a little bit.
Okay. So
it takes what? Oh, thank you. It takes about, I don't know, where I live, maybe 20 minutes to go through a drive-through. Not a big fan of going through a drive-through. I'm gonna show you this chicken recipe in under 4 minutes, and it's gonna cost you less and less time. There's a little bit of cleanup involved, but that's why you have children, right? Teach them soon. So we're gonna start out with a piece of chicken. This is just an 8-ounce breasted chicken, easily obtainable anywhere in the world. We're gonna use a little magic with the plastic wrap here. So when you pound chicken, it tends to splatter, right?
Yeah.
So you can use either a Ziploc baggie or a piece of plastic, and it will splatter a lot less. So we're gonna set that right about there, and then we're gonna put that over it. This is affectionately known as a chicken stretcher. So we're about to stretch some chicken. I know everybody's budget is tight, inflation's through the roof, everything costs twice as much. We all feel it, right? So sometimes you gotta be a little creative. And by creative, I mean, I got a little bit of chicken now, right? By the way, another perfect job for kids, right? Hammering things. It's magic. Now I've got a lot of chicken. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a standard breading procedure on this.
Okay.
Super easy. So you're gonna go flour, egg, and breadcrumb. So what that's gonna do is the flour is gonna create kind of like this little paste on the outside of the chicken. And what that does is it helps the egg to adhere to the chicken. And then what the egg does, it helps the breadcrumbs adhere to the chicken. Here's a great little trick if you want to do it. It's called double breading. So you see, she knew exactly where I was headed with that. So remember when we started out with that itty bitty piece of chicken, and you're like, yeah, that might feed one person, maybe. Double breading, magic. I've got dinner for 4 coming at you.
And that's going to be super crispy.
Oh gosh, yes. And the best thing about it, it has that, chicken finger-esque part about it. But what I want to also note is that this is a fresh chicken, no hormones, no antibiotics, no pink slime, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with. This is going to be fresh, it's going to be wholesome, and your kids are going to be, as long as you call it a chicken finger, they're probably like, oh, Mom made chicken fingers.
And I love that everything's easily recognizable. We don't have anything here that we can't pronounce.
So I absolutely agree with you. Most people, even a guy like me who I don't cook that much at home because my job is cooking, I have eggs, I have flour, I have breadcrumbs. I can stop by the store. By the way, Omni has a market inside of it. If you've never been to the Omni, it's a really interesting hotel. So within the hotel, 8 different restaurants, Bob's Steakhouse, best steakhouse in Louisville, probably Kentucky. We have a grocery store. See how I slipped that little advertisement in there?
I did. That was clever.
Right now, my boss is smiling when he heard that. So within our...
So you have a grocery store in your hotel?
I have a grocery store in my hotel. And when I say a grocery store, I've got Heine Brothers. I've got JJ Bakes, who just recently won America's Best Baker.
Yeah.
I've got Con Huevos. I have Iron Quarters that does pizza. I've got the Wynn Family Sushi. I've got a retail market that sells meat, dairy, eggs, one elevator right away. So
that's fantastic.
It is. Our guests love it because, you know, when you travel, you always forget something, and you just take the elevator to our market. So really cool thing. So when I say, you know, I've got this in my home, if I didn't, I just go down to the market.
It's easily obtained.
Yeah. They recognize me quite frequently. So, okay, we're going to use another fancy word. We're going to call it sautéing, right? It's a French word. It actually means to jump, but we're not going to get into that. We're just going to call this pan frying because we're pan frying, right? So what I did was I used the same oil that we used in the salad dressing. It's just vegetable oil. It has a very low smoke point, meaning that even if you get the pan a little too hot, you're not going to set off the thing. By the way, chefs set off fire alarms all the time in residential houses because we usually have giant hoods.
Right.
So we often forget that there's no giant hood, and everybody laughs at you, and you're like, oh, well, the chef set off the smoke alarm.
I'm good at that. My kitchen windows, I've become very proficient at popping them open at a moment's notice just for that purpose.
So do you do the towel wave?
I do.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
A damp towel works really, really well.
You got to have that in your repertoire, right? The towel shake and the everyone making fun of you because the chef. It's true. So now, as you can see, that chicken just exploded huge, right? Because when we started out, it was this little itty bitty chicken breast. So through the magic of double breading, and of course the chicken stretcher. Now we've got enough for 4 people. So how do we put this all together, right? How do we sneak up a little, how can I say it? A little healthy when you're not looking, right? So we've got this. This is not bad, right? We didn't use any, really bad fats in it. It's just vegetable oil, eggs, flour, a little bit of salt and pepper. So now we're gonna let that kind of finish up. So we're gonna come back to this bowl. We're gonna make sure that those blackberries get a little bit of soak in there. And then we're gonna add some greens to it. Chef, could you hand me those greens? That one, the one at the top, please. Thank you. So, just a mixed field green, right? You can get it at any store. You could use any lettuce you really want to on this. It really just depends upon your preference. I like this just because it has a lot of different flavors in it. But you could use iceberg, romaine, arugula. Arugula would actually be really good in this recipe. So we've got that working. Could you hand me that plate right there? Okay, so we've got that in our dressing, right? See how it's all bright and shiny?
Oh yeah, that looks really, really good.
So we're just gonna put a little bit in there. We're gonna get a few blackberries in there. Kids love blackberries, so you're kind of sneaking up on them. Another thing I'll do with blackberries is I'll freeze them and then give them to kids, and it's like a popsicle.
Oh,
so
yeah.
and you just tell them it's a blackberry popsicle. They're like, how kids always give you that look when you're trying to,
Like, what are you trying to pull?
Yeah, because they know it, right? They get it. They're just like looking at you like, blackberry popsicle. Yeah, sure. Same thing with grapes. If you're ever out on the patio and you want to put some ice cubes in your little patio white wine, freeze some grapes and throw them right into the wine glass. They don't water down the wine, and then you get a tasty treat at the end.
Oh yeah, frozen fruit in my glasses of wine are a summertime staple.
Heck yeah.
Frozen blackberries, strawberries, frozen peaches in a nice glass of like a crisp Chardonnay is super good.
Delicious, right?
Delicious.
Chefs get excited about stuff, sorry. We're like, peaches, yeah, peaches.
Yes.
If you can't get excited about food, what are you going to get excited about, right? It's a common language between everybody, and people think, oh, chefs, you must eat great all the time, and you blah, 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 and all this stuff. And they're like, my favorite meal is a steak taco over a garbage can with a bunch of my cooks after a rush, right? And that's like, I can eat anything I want.
Oh,
and
I get it.
Right?
I get it. One of the best steaks I ever had in my life was eaten over a trash can in a kitchen at the end of the night.
Right?
I totally understand that.
They're like, yeah, no, we just sit around white tablecloths and, sip burgundy. Nope, not so much. So I'm going to cut this chicken a little bit chicken fingery to kind of get the people thinking, hey, Mom and Dad know how to make chicken fingers. I thought only Ronald the Clown could do that stuff. Heck no.
You were saying earlier about smell-o-vision, Chef. I really wish you could smell this. This smells so good. And it looks so delicious. That golden crispiness on the outside. The blackberries look plump and juicy and delicious. This is a beautiful plate, Chef.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And if you were timing me on that, probably if I wasn't cackling so much, under 5 minutes, right? From done to done. Now we made a little bit of mess, but like I said, nobody eats for free. The kids are cleaning up. And then I sound old because I tell them, I didn't even have a dishwasher. We had to use a sink. And then they get that look like, yeah, sure.
That's a staple in our house. I actually don't have a dishwasher at home.
Nice.
And so washing dishes by hand is just a thing in our house.
I was the dishwasher in my house. So me and my brother would definitely be the category of, wash this.
Oh, yeah.
But, I think when you cook and do things with your family and you bring it together, it's an experience that you can't get in a drive-thru, right? You're just not going to get that. So when I say this, it comes from the heart and it means something, and you create a memorable experience about cooking with your mom or your dad or significant other, any way you want to look at it. I don't remember anybody telling me a story about, so we went through this drive-thru and it was fantastic. No, it doesn't work that way. So entertainment, sustenance, and fun, right?
Right, and some education. You know, we're teaching our kids, you know, how to take care of themselves. I know when I was in the military, I had soldiers who didn't know how to do their own laundry because they'd never had to do it. They didn't know how to cook for themselves. And I vowed then and there at 19 years old that I was not going to put humans in the world that could not clothe or feed themselves. And so that was a mission for my husband and I, was to make sure our kids could survive on their own without us if they had to.
Yeah.
And I think that's important for all parents to do. That's our job, right?
100%. I mean, I can remember my mom taping instructions onto the washer for my brother and I when I was 10. And she was like, okay, I have a job, your dad has a job, you guys don't have jobs. Your job now is to do your own laundry.
Exactly,
and
exactly.
most of the time I grew up wearing slightly pink things and slightly gray things after I mastered the art of. But boy, doing this and sneaking up on them, right? Like, you actually just taught them how to cook a chicken.
Yeah.
And all they're thinking about is, man, I wish I had a chicken finger. and now you do. And now you have a life skill that you can take with you.
Exactly, especially this salad dressing recipe, which is so easy just to come up with on the spot.
Yeah.
That's a really great ratio, and I hope people actually do give that a try. And I'd love to see what you all come up with. Please let us know what kind of spin on a vinaigrette you do at home, because I think that would be really interesting to see.
Yeah, I know where you're going to go, and I go there too. Bourbon vinaigrette.
Oh,
Yeah. Now we're cooking, right?
now we're talking. So we just pulled the popcorn balls out of the fridge. So
They
they're
look great.
holding together really nicely. And then this is a nice treat. Like I said, I really love mix and match type of recipes. So this is kind of a top your own kind of situation. So Chef, if you want to go ahead and grab some stuff, I've got melted peanut butter chips, melted chocolate chips, and then we've got an assortment of toppings. I find that this is a really great way for us to use up some of the leftover Halloween candy. So I've
Great.
got some Twix, some peanut butter cups, and some Snickers.
That's genius. That is genius. So you're telling me that I can make a Reese's peanut butter popcorn white chocolate fluff ball?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. I think, well, you said green was your favorite, so I'm going to give you that
Oh,
one.
thank you. Thank
There
you.
you go.
Ooh, look at that. That set up so nice.
It did. It's that white chocolate really does kind of help solidify that marshmallow fluff. It makes it just a little bit easier. So I'm going to do a little bit of a
What's that old
drizzle.
commercial? You got peanut butter in your chocolate? I know you got chocolate in my peanut butter.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So I just did that to you. Sorry.
You did.
I
You did. That's okay.
I'm that guy. Oh, I know where I'm headed. I know where I'm headed. This is awesome. Are you kidding me?
I'm going to take a Oh, you did get chocolate in my
I
peanut
did.
butter.
Genius. Who would have thought? Chocolate, peanut butter. I don't know who did it, but I'm forever in your debt. If you're out there somewhere and you're like, I did that.
I did that.
I love you.
Yes, that was fantastic. So I'm going to do the same thing because Reese cups are my favorite thing.
I need some color. I need some. Ooh, and maybe a little crunch, color and texture.
Little M&M garnish. Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm going for.
All right, I like
Look at
it.
little baby M&Ms.
Little teeny tiny M&Ms because I just think they're fun. So that is what our popcorn ball looks like. And
Heck yeah.
who knew that we snuck in a little extra protein and some fiber and for less calories than our Rice Krispies,
Get that at a drive-thru.
right?
You're not gonna.
All right, so Kenny and I just tried the salad. We tried some of the chicken and it was absolutely delicious. So it looked prettier before we got into it,
Yep.
but I can attest to it being delicious. And I actually learned something. I know your favorite color is green.
It is. It's the Irish in me.
I love it. I also love green. And
So
the
great,
dessert
yeah,
looks
the
good, too.
dessert, we decided before we started recording that we shouldn't shove popcorn in our mouths with the mics right next to us and just get it everywhere, so we'll
Yeah.
save that off camera.
That would be the opposite of ASMR, I think.
Right. You're supposed to
Absolutely.
be really quiet for that.
Absolutely. So like we mentioned before, I do want to touch it one more time. We've got other classes already set up for the next few months. We've already got our guests set up for it with different themes. We're going to be pairing with National Hispanic Heritage Month as well. That's upcoming. So, and we've got some guests that are coming up in a cooking challenge that we're recording on Tuesday. Oh boy. And there's a trophy involved. Oh boy. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Chefs, thank you all so much for coming out to do this. This has been fantastic. We love the work you're doing. And I think we've got a tagline we're supposed to cover too, isn't it?
So, you ready? So, Omni's really committed to this, and our battle cry is
Say goodnight to hunger.